Good morning, bon dia, Rob Evans, FTE. Just thought I'd drop in and say hi again. For those that haven't met me or seen much of me, basically I was a fireman for 28 years in Wiltshire and accumulated stresses and traumas, built its way up, and I had my birds of prey as an alternative therapy, which I had for 15 or 16 years. I absolutely loved it, but I was forced to sell, which was pretty devastating. This is when we moved to France, and then we subsequently moved to Portugal. In the time from France, I started to notice some very intrusive and horrible thoughts and feelings. So I had to deal with a lot of stuff. People call it your inner demons, but basically I had to face some hard realities. In doing so, try always to be upbeat and never down for long. So I started blogging and journaling, and the blog then became a blog page, and the feedback I had basically encouraged more and more people. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, I had feedback from fire control staff and firefighters saying, wow, we really needed to hear this. I was a fourth dan in karate, a BAI instructor, breathing apparatus instructor. I don't see myself as a weak person, but there was times when I was hit with emotion. I'm crap at funerals. I cannot deal with funerals, not necessarily because of that one person at the funeral, bless them, but it's the realities of everything else that's caught up with me. So I basically opened myself up to being vulnerable and did this to show other people that it's okay to not be okay. I've been cycling. I like to deal with most of my challenges through exercise, through the karate or the cycling. And I was cycling the Pyrenees, which I managed to do 5 of the cols without stopping. I was over the moon. But trust me, I was nearly dying the first time I tried. But it's all about trying and consistently trying and keeping going. And I have thought about giving up quite a few times. Thinking, is it worth it? Is anybody listening? Are people taking it on board? But then I realised that people take everything on board in their own time, and not everyone is ready to deal with stuff. I've subsequently written 3 books. The first one introductory about me, the second one about signs and symptoms, and the third one about breaking the stigma of therapies and alternative therapies. So if you've bought just the first one and thinking, okay, that's great, honestly, you need to consider buying the next 2, because it's dealing with how we're going to get through and processing how we get through, and it's how you get through. I'm also going to write a 3rd book, so I'm evolving. Fireman's Tired Eyes came about because I was a fireman and I was tired of what I was seeing. I was saturated. Chatting to a good friend who's been depressed for many years and sadly lost his wife. We had some really good, deep conversations, and I think I've helped him get through quite a few things. He seems to be in a much better place now, and he rightly told me that when it says fireman's, it's just for the fire service, and tired to a bloke who's depressed is not a nice word. So I've called it FTE, and FTE, as this has evolved and changed, I'm calling it free trauma energy, because it's trapped energy inside our body. Now, we absorb stuff, and it's surprising what we stuff down. I know we're being bombarded with everything around in the world that's going on at the moment. The news is doom and gloom, but you have a choice. You can turn that off. So try it, turn it off, don't listen to it. But when I had to deal with my stuff, and this is about me for now, I didn't realise I was helping others in such a way that I was. So it's about consistently turning up and showing up and doing what you're doing. It doesn't have to be like me, riding and cycling up the Pyrenees. And I'm now cycling out here and riding around, I say the Algarve, now the west coast of Portugal. It doesn't have to be drastic. It just means consistently doing something. When you get daily habits, it then becomes lifestyles. And if you're doing something that's healthy, it can also, it will help you in the long run. Being aware and recognizing when you're triggered, when you're stressed, when you're dealing with stuff, and how it's affecting you is the first thing. No different to, I suppose, the Alcoholics Anonymous. If somebody said, I'm an alcoholic. Wow, that's a huge step, because someone say, wow, there's a realization that I've got a problem. Then you can start to deal with it. So I've had self-doubts, I've questioned my sanity many a time, but I'm also not afraid to reassess where I was, where I am, and where I want to be, and evolve. So I've evolved the name, so I'm evolving the logo, so that it's inclusive of everybody. So FT is for everybody and anybody, because as we all know, mental health and depression, anxiety, suicide, whatever you want to go down, it has no boundaries, and it will affect and can affect anybody and everybody, depending on your coping capacity, where you are at that time and how you're dealing with it, be it that lack of sleep, depends on how you're going to react and respond. And we cannot say what we've unsaid, and we cannot unsee what we've seen. So I always try and make a point of thinking what I'm going to say before I say it. I may have been a little bit volatile to senior management in the fire service because I was protecting me and my crew, and I was exhausted, and maybe said the wrong things. So I apologise to them. Maybe not. It is important that we look after me, the crew, and the public. Me second, me was the last. And my family ultimately as well, because they're also there. But when you do think about giving up, and I have thought about giving up a few times and thinking, is it really worth it? But then you get people out of the blue that are watching you, and they need to have heard it. Showing my vulnerability has been a blessing to many that have come forward and told me that, and thank you for their support, because we all need support. Everybody needs support, and having that feedback that it's helping them to have got through their challenges. Now, we all are all challenged and following our own trouble, or following our own routes, and we're all facing our own troubles. Having a acknowledgement, if you're first going to say, right, I'm going to go out for a run, you haven't run for years, having someone just give you a wave and a smile and say, yeah, well done, makes a huge difference, because you may have been about to give up. I'm out cycling a lot because I'm doing this cycling event across the Algarve in one day. I've got UK firefighters and hopefully the Bombeiros, but as in the Portugal firefighters, cycling with me, but I can't get hold of them at the moment because they're flat out dealing with fires in the whole country, which is pretty devastating and sad. But I reached out and thought, I cannot do this on my own. In the fire service, we're a team. Nobody does anything on their own. Even if you go into a house fire, there's 2 of you minimum. So I reached out and asked for help, and I'm just blown away. I got support from doTERRA and the Healing Hands Project, and I'm truly blessed by that, because they have stepped up and helped me massively. And I said about the word adapt, I've been using doTERRA for 5 years, and I use the adaptive blend. It helps with people suffering with stress, trauma, PTSD. It's grounding, it's uplifting, and all in one. If you want any information, just ask. Like I say, I'm not here to sell anything, but I'm here to help promote it, because it's been a game changer for me. Literally roll it on the back of my neck, or on my pulse points, on the soles of my feet even, or just smell it, and it's grounding. Now, if you think back, you have a grounding smell of, a lovely smell of coffee, and it makes you feel chilled and relaxed, or you might smell the sea air and think, it takes you back to a holiday. The senses has a huge difference to how we respond and react. So doTERRA have just been amazing, and the help has come from all levels. I've got support, which is what I need, because to do this cycling on its own, worst case scenario, ranging from getting people to come in and do stuff, if I was to do it on my own, I'd still need a support vehicle. I can't just cycle 100 miles from one end or one side to the other and not have support, drinks, food. What happens if it all goes wrong? Punctures beyond how many tubes I can carry. And then if I was to cycle it and my car is still at the beginning, I've got to cycle back. So that's the worst case scenario. Is I do a 200-mile cycle, on my Todd. I don't want that to happen. It's got to be more than that. And when you have support, there's no shame in asking. And then it's no different if you're dealing with PTSD, depression, anxiety, stress. Mate, this list goes on and on and on. If you're dealing with something, if something's concerning you, you're worried, and there's enough things being piled on the world at the moment, if you voice it and talk it through, not just to yourself, but talk it out to somebody else, it's a different opinion. Nobody's going to give you answers. That's the thing with therapies. I'm training to do therapies that I can help people, but I'm not giving any answers. The answers are all within us, and we all know that. It's up to us to make that decision. So it's my decision to cycle this to raise awareness for PTSD and mental health. And at the same time, we're raising money for the firefighters charity in the UK, and also the Alerta Algarve, or the Algarve Alerta, Alerta Algarve, and that's for the firefighters of Bomberos in the Algarve. Now, the links to that are on my bio in Instagram or on the website. This is about raising money for them. They need it. They are seriously, as everyone is, underfunded and stressed, and I appreciate not everybody can throw money around. But we all need each other and support. If raising awareness and getting someone else to pick up the phone and speak to their mate or text their mate stops them from maybe taking their life, or who knows, then preventing something and helping each other is what it's all about. I'm not a superhero. I can't do everything. I don't profess to be anything or nothing special. I still deal with my own problems as and when I face them, but I'm prepared to face them. And hopefully by putting myself out here, I can show you that it's okay to not be okay. We will have difficult days, but I'm not afraid to ask for help. In a fire situation, think back to that. If we went into a house fire, you're up against it with all the heat, the smoke, you name it. And then if it's somebody's into drugs, they've got drugs litter all over the floor, you can have numerous hazards. And hey, most people have aerosol cans, which are not good anyway, but if that goes bang, you've got a potential small bomb in the house. So going into a house fire doesn't mean I come back out. So going to work didn't mean I come back out. So kissing the kids and saying goodbye was always a blessing coming back home again. So I always look at that. So I'm very grateful for what I've done, for how many people I've helped. I'm blessed by how many people have come back and said thank you, because there's a lot of people that don't get any thanks or praise. Sometimes this is nice to hear it. So if you have been helped, or you've helped anybody, and this takes step outside the fire services and emergency services and NHS and everything else, really be grateful and thank people, because don't ever take anything for granted. It's an honour to have helped so many people, and to now know that I've helped other people. I say coaching because I'm not quite there as a coach yet, but I'm assisting and helping people by talking and listening. I always like to think actions speak louder than words. So my actions of getting out on my bike, being consistent. Yes, I'm getting myself fitter, but I'm also showing people there's an alternative therapy through exercise. And yes, it's going to be difficult. The challenges are there. Cycling up hills, cycling against my lovely training partner, the winds. Just in there for extra measure, but it's getting me fitter and stronger. So I'm reframing my thoughts and I embrace it and think, thanks very much. Come on, join me. Come on, jump in the wind. Why is it always in your face wherever you go around? But you got to laugh at it. It's there. You can't change it. And acceptance. And I'm accepting that it's going to be hard. I'm accepting that I can make a difference and help people. And I'm accepting help and support when and where it's needed and when it comes along. I've just noticed my wife's bike in the background set up on the turbo. Look. You weren't supposed to see that bit. But it's just accept the help. Accept that you might be struggling. We don't have to do everything on our own. Reach out and speak out. There's simple little steps that can get you through. And remember, where you are today, take stock of what you are. Just take that 10-minute breather and just think, chill. Look back at what you've done, not in a negative to pull up old past and horrible memories, but look back and thinking, you've overcome that, so you're bloody strong. All of us are dealing with our own crap, but it doesn't have to be alone. A problem shared is a problem halved, as the old saying says, and it does make a difference. Just by speaking it out, being allowed to speak, and the biggest thing about it is it's a huge difference being heard. When someone actually hears what you're saying and what you're going through, because we can all assume or think or presume what somebody's going through. Oh, well, yeah, well, mine's worse, and it's nothing like that. So I'm very grateful for where I am. I'm very grateful for this huge step up support from doTERRA. It's just incredible. The Healing Hands Project just helps people all around the world. I'm just absolutely blown away. So you never know when somebody will come and help you. So keep showing up, keep trying. You may have to go backwards to go forwards, but the more you keep trying, the more regular it becomes, the more your body doesn't think it's a strange thing to do, doing something different. To sit and meditate. And I jokingly said it in my first book, is that you sit there with your legs crossed saying Om. Well, actually, there's some real benefits to that that I've learned so much from doing the Rewire project. And the voice, the tone alone, there's healing in sound, which is why we all love music. We're drawn to it. It's a vibration. Energy has a vibration. The earth has a vibration. And this may sound wacky, but it's not. You can feel someone's energy. I like to be positive. I like to be upbeat. I'm inquisitive. I'm more creative. And that energy is infectious. So I'm hoping I can pass that on to you all. There is hope. It has been difficult. Only my wife really knows just how difficult it's been, because she's been an absolute rock for me. She's been going through her own stuff. It wasn't easy for her either, and for living with me. But being positive and infectious, I'm giving that light and that energy out to everyone else. So don't give up hope. Reach out and speak out, because you'll be amazed who is listening or who is watching, and we all need each other. So I've got the cycling event on the 28th of October. There'll be some more news on this one soon. But if you are struggling, just know how amazing you are and how far you've got to where you are now. And it may be hard, but it will get easier. So reach out and speak out, and I'll say bless you all. So I'll speak to you again soon. Ciao for now.